All right, what's up, everybody? Normally when I do these videos, obviously for the podcast, I am on the desk, which is in front of me off camera. It's behind everyone. But frankly, I didn't want to set up another tripod. So like the title says, we're going to talk a little bit about, no, we're going to talk a lot, actually, about Suicide Squad versus the Justice League. I'm going to do my best to keep this under 30 minutes. I literally just got done beating the game. I just completed it maybe 5 minutes ago. Went through the credits and everything. Mission, story completed, beat the game. I don't know what happened. I gotta be honest. I have my theories. And I'm sorry in advance if this seems a bit discombobulated or if this is a little unorganized. I was going to make notes. I've been wanting to make this video, but quite frankly, I have a lot of thoughts right now, and I might lose them if I write them down. It seems counterintuitive. That's how my brain works. Anyway, okay, I'm going to start by saying this. I'm going to turn my mic down a little bit because I'm being a bit loud. Let's turn that down a little bit. Okay, so if you guys have been watching the podcast for a while, if you know me personally in real life, you know that I am a big comic book fan. I have been reading comic books. There's a cat outside on my roof. The cat distribution system might have chosen me, but it's too cold outside. Anyway, I've been reading comic books since as long as I can remember. A part of the way I learned how to read was through comic books. I love them. I'm always going to love comics, and that's just a part of my life. It's who I am. If you're watching in the new episodes here in the new studio, you'll see on both sides of the desk, there are my big stacks of collected edition comic books that I have called omnibuses, and I love them very much. I love reading those. So I'm a big fan of comic books, but while I say my interest and my love in DC and Marvel is about equal, I'd say it's about 55% DC, 45% Marvel. I love both, but I've always had a bit more of an affinity for DC. And that's not a knock on Marvel. I love Marvel very much, but that's just how my brain works. So that being said, my favorite comic book character is Batman. Without a doubt. If I'm doing top 3 DC characters, it's Batman, Superman, probably Green Lantern. It really switches between Green Lantern and Wonder Woman. I also love Nightwing very much, but just for the purposes of this game, the characters in this game right now, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern.
I'm proud to announce that the podcast is now officially sponsored by the fine people over at Chop Chili Company. Guys, this is some of the best chili you can get here in the state of New Mexico, and they are online as well as in stores. They can be found at Smith's, Albertsons, Sprouts, John Brooks, and Lowe's Corner Market. They have 3 amazing flavors that you see here, and they also have frozen green chili that you can get online. Go on over to the website, chopchilico.com, and get yourself some amazing chili today. Podcast is now officially sponsored by the amazing people over at High Desert Relief, a premier herbal destination right here in the state of New Mexico. They have extremely well-trained and knowledgeable staff that are more than happy to help you find what you're looking for or try something that you maybe have never thought of. They have 2 locations here in Albuquerque, 1 in Santa Fe. All 3 will be listed right here and in the description of this episode. All 3 offering legendary products at absolutely legendary prices, including this awesome merch that they were so kind enough to gift me here. All of this can be found at all 3 of their locations. Again, big thank you to the guys over at HDR for supporting. Now back to the episode.
But I love all the characters of the Justice League. I really do. They're great. And I love the Arkham games. I remember getting the original Arkham Asylum on my 360 and getting so frustrated with it because I was a little kid, and that was one of the first games that actually gave me challenge. And then I remember my aunt getting me Arkham City on the 360 when it had come out with all the DLC and stuff, like the DLC packaged version of the game. We got on sale at GameStop for $40 or something like that, and I lost my mind with that game. I remember being back when this was still a thing. I was at the midnight launch at a GameStop, but it was actually at 10 p.m. for Arkham Knight. And then I went across the street to the Domino's to get my order, but they actually screwed up my order. And so instead of getting one giant pepperoni pizza, I ended up getting like 2 mediums, and one of them was like pepperoni mushroom, and another one was like a margarita or something like that pizza. Anyway, I won that night. It was a good night. It was a good fucking night. I stayed up easily until like 6 a.m. playing Arkham Knight. I still play Arkham Knight. For all that, the game has its faults, but yeah, I love that game. I love that game. Suicide Squad killed the Justice League. I don't know what happened. Oh my God, I don't know what happened. Full disclosure, we're gonna talk spoilers. The spoilers have been going around the internet for a long time, and if this is your first time hearing spoilers about about this fucking game, I'm sorry. But I guess out of respect for people that might be seeing this that haven't seen spoilers, I'll give you my spoiler-free review of the game. The story is fine. There are things in it that happen that I strongly disagree with, but there's also some things in there that I wholeheartedly disagree with, both of which piss off fans. The writing is subpar. Like, legit dialogue between characters is subpar. While they do the character justice, this is about as annoying as Amanda Waller can ever get. I would challenge, I hope they don't, but I challenge someone to make a more annoying Amanda Waller. Yeah, the story's fine. The ending is annoying. And I'll go into spoilers why, both from a narrative standpoint and from a business model that they're clearly going for. It's Suicide Squad killed the Justice League, so Justice League members die. It's in the title, and it happens. So you get what you pay for, right? But it's the execution, no pun intended. The execution of it is what's a little interesting. What else can I say without getting into spoilers? The gameplay. Okay, the gameplay, admittedly, the mechanics of it is for me, it was a little bit of a learning curve, but once I got into it, it was fine. I mainly played as Deadshot. I thought he had the best traversal. Him and Boomerang definitely had the best traversal. Harley sucked. King Shark, his sucks. Harley's the worst character in the game as far as gameplay goes. I don't think there's even a question about that. And so I mainly just played Deadshot, not only because he was my favorite out of the four from a character standpoint of like comic books and animation, but because I think that would make the game go down easier for me. That's the one, because it's a shooter, right? So that's the one that makes the most sense to me. So I played as Deadshot 90% of the game. There's parts of the game where they encourage you to play as other characters so you can get more XP. After halfway through the game, it's negligible. Yeah, it's really negligible. Gameplay. Let's see. The boss battles against the Justice League members. The Flash is fun. Green Lantern is fun. Batman's is pitiful. Superman's is fine. Little spoiler, there's not a boss battle for Wonder Woman. And we'll get into why that's a thing later in spoilers. Obviously Brainiac's in the game, right? Because he brainwashed the villains, or brainwashed our heroes. His boss battle's pitiful. But I will say the Flash and Green Lanterns are pretty fun. Like, it, with all the negatives the game has, I couldn't help but get excited fighting those heroes. Like, oh shit, I'm fighting the Flash. Oh shit, I'm fighting Green Lantern. And it it wasn't challenging, but it was unique. And not unique. Take that back. It wasn't challenging. It was the spectacle. The spectacle of it was cool. It's like, oh shit, I'm fighting the Justice League, that type of stuff. We're already almost 10 minutes into the video, so let's get rid of this. Overall, I'm gonna give the game out of 10, about a 4. God, because the ending is just not. Yeah, I don't like doing 0.5s or anything like that. Let's do a 4. It's a 4. I regret buying it. It took me about 11 hours to beat. And that's with some side missions, so keep that in mind. Man, that just sunk in. Yeah, 11 hours to beat. Don't buy it. Or buy it. I'm not going to tell you what to do with your money. I'm not good with my money, obviously. But yeah, anyway. So, spoiler time. Let's fucking dive deep into this game. Okay, so the premise of the game is Brainiac comes to town and brainwashes the Justice League with the exception of Diana, Wonder Woman. And now Amanda Waller, the commander of Argus, forms a Task Force X, the Suicide Squad, and it's Harley, Shark, Boomerang, and Deadshot to go kill the Justice League. The game begins, like the game starts where the invasion already happens. You don't see the Justice League get captured. You don't see the Justice League get brainwashed. So that's already lazy, right? Like, oh, and I guess another way to preface this game is plagued with poor writing, poor to mediocre writing, with hints of DEI issues. And what I mean by DEI is the diversity and equity and inclusion stuff, right? So what's important to understand about this game before we get into it actually is, so at some point in the last 4 years, you guys can look this up if you're really interested, the two main guys from ROCKSEADY left the developer. I'm trying to look it up real quick. Lead developer ROCKSEADY leaves. It's two guys. Yeah. Sefton Hill and Jamie Walker. So they left ROCKSEADY and they created a brand new game studio. I'm looking for the name right now. I'm looking this up in real time. Again, I didn't prepare for this. Because I'm an idiot. Because it looks like they left in 2022. 100 Star Games. Okay, so this article I'm looking up right now is by Polygon, and it says ROCKSEADY founders have a new post-Suicide Squad studio, and then the sub-headline says 100 Star Games is scooping up ROCKSEADY talent. That is not fucking surprising, and that is of January 17th of this year, so about 3 weeks ago. And these are the guys that had the Arkham trilogy, obviously. And I'd imagine that in the wake of them leaving as of 2022, another studio came in, and I believe that they are called Sweet Baby. Let me look them up really quick. Let's see. Yep, Sweet Baby Inc., Sweet Baby Incorporated. And they've worked on games such as Alan Wake 2, God of War Ragnarok, Spider-Man 2, and now, of course, they are on Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League. And I remember reading an article where, so it looks like, on their website, we bring in diverse voices to solve diverse problems. Sweet Baby Inc. provides narrative consultation at any stage of development, boasting a team of diverse talent with vetted industry experience being the best way to life, writing, narrative representation, and development. Let's see. We do story pitches, world building, character creation, narrative design, story feedback, tweaks, and more. Representation. Okay, we do cultural consultation, sensitivity and inclusivity reading, risk and opportunity assessment, and more. All right, so I don't want to turn this into a political thing, but again, we're talking about spoilers. Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, and The Flash all die in very disrespectful ways. Not even disrespectful. It's like, yeah, because here's the thing, right? For me, if a villain, with very few exception, if a villain is killing a hero, they're gonna disrespect the hero because they're butting heads, right? They're arch enemies to one another. They are antithesis to another. They want to see the other fail. So it's not out of the realm of possibilities for me to see, and this happens in the game, Captain Boomerang, after the Flash dies, to whip his dick out and try to pee on the Flash. That happens. It's not out of the realm of possibility for Harley Quinn, especially the Arkham version of Harley Quinn, to just put a pistol to Batman's head and blow his head off. That's not out of the realm of possibility to me, right? Or, for like, there's a beef they set up between Green Lantern, John Stewart, and Deadshot. And for Deadshot to not really give a shit when he blows his head off. Like, he sticks his wrist gun, whatever, hand cannon, whatever, arm cannon, to Green Lantern's head, just puts a hole in his head. You don't see the hole, but there's a hole in his head. That's not out of the realm of possibility. It's the execution in the story and the fact there's no gravity to these deaths, with the exception of Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is the only character in this game that gets a respectful death. After every other major hero death in this game, they kind of just walk away from it. They don't really talk about it much. They don't whatever. There's a little bit of dialogue from Harley after Batman, but it's nothing crazy. It's like, oh, he would have wanted this or whatever. He got the last laugh or something nonsense. But Wonder Woman's is the only one that's given any sort of emotion. And we'll go through the deaths, but I just want to bring that up because the female hero is the only one that gets respect as far as the death goes. You know what I mean? And I love Wonder Woman. Like, Wonder Woman is, again, like I said earlier, in my top 3. If she switches out with Green Lantern, it just really depends on the story, but she's in my top 3 typically of DC superheroes. And depending on the story, she can often be my favorite. There's a Justice League story that's actually coming to mind right now. It's called, I want to say Justice League, or like League of One. Justice League of America, A League of One. And basically, this is one of my favorite Justice League stories. Let's see who it's by. I want to give the correct. Oh, okay. So it's written, penciled, inked, and colored by Christopher Moeller. And basically, what happens is, it's a storyline where all of the Justice League gets captured, and then it's up to Wonder Woman to save them. And not only is it one of the best Wonder Woman stories ever written, but it's one of the best DC Justice League stories ever. Excuse me. But it's just interesting, right? In the age of inclusion, in the age of diversity, in the age of the whole social justice stuff, that Wonder Woman's the only one that gets respect. And again, this is the last thing I'll say about it, but in the Justice League, in the Hall of Justice, there's a banner, and I'll try to get a picture of it and put it up in the screen, along with other visual aids. There's a banner where it says, welcome all heroes, and it's got like the pride flag and the trans flag and the non-binary flag and the this, that, and the other flag. Not to be disrespectful, I literally have lost count of all of the LGBTQIA acronyms. I have lost count. I'm sorry. But, so there's some DEI issues in this game. And I think that in the name And there's a lot of other like more right wing individuals that say, "Oh, they're taking down male heroes," and that kind of stuff. And maybe that's there, maybe it's not. I'm not gonna say it is because again, it's Suicide Squad kill the Justice League, and the Justice League is male dominant, and they're gonna die, right? Anyway, I don't want to get off the subject. Okay, it's not that interesting to me. I just want to bring it up. So let's stay on story. You kill all the Justice League members. The Flash dies, and the Flash's fight is fun, but he does die. And I'll bring up the first issue that I have here with the gameplay. The gameplay is not original at all. Like, don't get me wrong, the mechanics are interesting, kinda, and the movement. Again, I only played as Deadshot for the most part. 90% of the game, 95% of the game, I play as Deadshot. And even his movement's not all of that amazing. It's fine. He's got a jetpack. But whether you're fighting a Justice League member or you're fighting a group of alien goons that are controlled by Brainiac, the gameplay is disable the enemy, shoot the enemy, or it's use a specific gameplay mechanic to shoot the enemy or disable the enemy and then shoot the enemy and you win. There's no variety to that. And as I'm playing the game, I'm trying to think like, okay, well, how does this compare to the Arkham series? There is in all fairness, as far as your generic enemies go, there is about as much variation in Suicide Squad as there is in the Arkham franchise. In the Arkham franchise, don't get me wrong, the combat is fucking amazing. The free flow combat, the Predator combat where you're Batman and you're hopping around and you're taking out enemies, those are fun, but there's not a lot of enemy types. But what separated the gameplay of the Arkham series from this is in the Arkham series, as you unlock things, sure, you can go through every combat encounter only pressing X and pressing Y, punching and countering, and you can beat it. But you can also use gadgets, and you can also there's like multiple ways you can kill these enemies. Same thing with the Predator missions. There's multiple ways you can stealthily move through a room of goons and take them down as Batman, right? It's very creative, and your mind, as far as you go and you unlock abilities and you unlock gadgets, it's really your imagination's the limit. Whether it's you get like the freeze bombs or the glue bombs, or you use like the voice synthesizers to lure enemies away, or you use like the trip line thing you can make. Like, there's a lot of different ways you can do that. Basic gameplay mechanics, but there's multiple ways you can do it. But in Suicide Squad, it's like the more gadgets you unlock, or not even gadgets, just the more guns you unlock and the more afflictions, they call it, you unlock, which is like freeze attacks, or stuff based on Bane's Venom or El Diablo's Fire, or there was another one that I had, and I'm completely spacing on it. That's how fucking unimaginative it was. But with the more stuff you unlock, you're still like boxed in to like you have to take out enemies using only this per mission, right? Because as you go through the map, you start a mission of take down the goons in like the one of two different scenarios they give you. Whether you're protecting Poison Ivy's plants or you're protecting like a courier mission, like you have to get the vehicle with the thing to the objective, and the vehicle gets stopped, so you have to take down these towers, and there's only one way to take down they box you in to do it only one certain way, and it gets boring. Like, the only reason it took me so long to beat the game, like as in days wise, or weeks wise, not as in hours, is because I got bored, and I was like, okay, I don't want to keep doing this for hours on end, and finally I had a free Saturday, so I just sat down and beat it, because I want to get it over with. And at the end of the day, just the Arkham formula was just so much more fun. And then when you did boss battles in the Arkham games, they felt like boss battles. It didn't feel like you were just copying and pasting, the formula of how to beat a regular goon to how do you beat a Justice League member. The only difference is just, okay, how quick can you go about it? In the Arkham games, at least, it was like, okay, let's check what you've learned. And then how do you beat Solomon Grundy? How do you beat... I don't fucking know. I haven't played like a boss battle in those games in so long. I think Ra's al Ghul had a couple of really cool ones from like Arkham City. I don't know. It's been so long since I've beaten those games, like actually beaten through the campaigns. I'll just replay a lot of Predator missions and a lot of like combat missions because it's just fun. It's fun. So yeah, I would love to talk about these. Let's just talk about them individually, but this is gonna sound repetitive because it is. And I hate to look like that YouTuber yelling into a camera, but fuck, man, like what happened in this game? Okay, so you beat the Flash, and the way you beat the Flash is you get a gadget that helps stop the Speed Force, and it makes you invulnerable to the Speed Force. So again, you slap it on your gun, and the Flash has an icon, and you shoot the Flash, he becomes vulnerable, you shoot him, and you rinse and repeat until he falls down and you kill him. Then you move on to the Green Lantern. The Green Lantern fight was probably the best because he makes these constructs, and they're like helicopters because he's an ex-Marine, right? So it's like Apache helicopters coming and doing strafing runs, and then it's like mines everywhere, and like different missile systems, and so you have to but again, fuck me, it's the same shit. It's just shoot the constructs, Green Lantern becomes vulnerable, you shoot Green Lantern, and then he falls down and you beat him. Okay, and then like talk about disrespect. So you kill the Green Lantern, his constructs go away, his powers go away because King Shark manages to rip King Shark rips off his finger after Deadshot kills him. And so his like suit goes away and he's laying there and he's wearing Green Lantern boxers. Like, there's nothing ceremonious about these deaths. Oh, fuck me. Okay, so, and then, so with the Green Lantern fight, talk about the writing. So, the writers for this game, they cannot be the same writers of the Arkham series. This video is going to go over 30 minutes. I'm sorry. The writers are not the same writers as they can't be. They can't be. It's either that or they had the same writers about halfway through, but when it came to actual story development, they left because anybody who has basic knowledge of Green Lantern knows that the ring chooses the ring bearer, not the other way around. Say what you want about Zack Snyder's movies, but at least in his Justice League, when that ancient Green Lantern dies, the Lantern ring flies away to go choose someone. When Jon Stewart dies in this game, it stays on him. Green Lantern cuts off his finger, rips it off, puts it on him, temporarily becomes a Green Lantern, summons a construct of a shark and flies it into Brainiac's ship so that the shield goes down. That's not how fucking lantern rings work. I'm sorry. I mean, that's not like a dork, but it's not how the shit works. And then the ring just kind of just goes away. Like, I don't know. I don't think the ring flies away. Truthfully, to be honest with you, I don't know what happens to the ring. I don't remember. Okay, anyway. So Lantern dies. Now there's an issue of how do we take down Superman? And so there's a part in the game where you go into Batman's headquarters, or like a secret lair that he has in Metropolis in Wayne Bank. And you're watching... Oh, no. Oh, that's right. Okay, fuck. All right. So Lex Luthor's in the game. I'm going to back up a little bit. Lex Luthor's in the game. The regular Lex Luthor dies. You have to travel to Earth 2 to get the other Lex Luthor because in the beginning of the game, it's like, who's Lex Luthor talking to? He has an advisor. Argus wants him. Turns out his advisor is Lex from Earth 2. I'm skimming over this just because the details really don't matter that much because it's so fucking boring and stupid. But you go get Earth 2 Lex, you bring him over, and you end up finding... So he's like doing his own thing, researching how to beat Superman. And then what happens is, and they don't really explain it, but they're like, hey, you need to go get Batman to beat Superman. So you go into Wayne Bank and you go into a vault and there's a false door behind a vault and it's like a bat laboratory. It's like a mini bat cave where it's got all of its like computers and shit in there. And then there's this hologram that's playing, that you play, of Batman. And it's a message. For nerds who are watching this, you'll remember the Tower of Babel storyline or the Justice League Doom animated movie. For anyone who's watching that hasn't watched Justice League Doom, please go watch it. It's amazing. It is basically what it is the League finds out that Batman has contingency plans against the rest of the League. Classic storyline. So, and they actually reference that storyline here. They reference it here in the game, and they call it the Babel Protocol, I think, or the Babel Initiative, something like that. So anyway, they're playing this hologram of Batman, and it's what happens if the Justice League goes rogue. And then, because the storyline, the hologram is supposed to be Batman talking to Robin, specifically Tim Drake. And as they're listening to the story, one of the characters backs up and steps on Robin's mask, and it's covered in blood. And it is insinuated that Batman killed Tim Drake off screen while he was manipulated by Brainiac. Like, why? Why? Like, there was not a need to kill Robin, but they decided to do it anyway. And mind you, this is already... Fuck, something fell. All right, we'll cut that. All right, we're back. Something fell. Because in this game, Batman kills people, like murders people, like strings people up, guts them, stabs them, shoots them, because he's controlled by Brainiac. Which is fine. Like, that doesn't really bother me that much. But, like, you don't have to add him killing Robin. Like, that's a storyline thing you don't have to have. And that would have just made for passable DLC to at least play as the Bat family. I don't know. Actually, no, leave them out of this shitty game. Just kidding. No, never mind. Okay, so anyway, they're listening to the hologram and he's going through the protocols of how to defeat the Justice League. And eventually he gets to himself, and because they go to like figure out how to beat Batman, and he's like, there is no anti-Batman protocol. But they leave it there. Now in the storyline, which they're clearly drawing inspiration from Justice League Tower of Babel, Justice League Doom, when the Justice League is saying, well, you're so cocky, what is the Justice League, or what's the anti-Batman protocol? Like, how do we take down you? And he goes, that's called the Justice League. But none of that is here. This is going to be a long video. Okay, so then we're going through character deaths. Okay, so then when they walk into the place, they see Wonder Woman making her shield, and she is fastening kryptonite into the shield. And King Shark goes, because throughout the game they're interacting with Wonder Woman, they're telling her like, hey, your friends are beyond saving, you need to team up with us so you don't die, and we need to kill your friends. And she, of course, like, her character is one of the only characters in this game that's given respect, because her response has always been throughout the game, hey, I'm not going to kill my friends. I believe I can save Barry. I can save John, Bruce, Kal-El. She never calls Superman Clark. She always calls him Kal-El, which is, again, like, it's like they know how to respect DC characters, but they choose not. Okay, anyway. Okay, so this is, okay. So he tells her, like, you should be fastening that kryptonite to a sword, not a shield. And she basically says, no, I'm going to save my friends. Which is the right response from a Justice League member. And it's the right response from Diana. It's the correct response. And it's good. It's a great moment. Like, this game, I'm saying this 35 minutes into this fucking video, and I'm sorry. But, like, there are moments of greatness in this game. And we'll get to them. There are moments of greatness, but it's just watered down and piled on by shit. By shit. And I don't understand why. So, anyway, it ends up happening that it's after King Shark throws his shit into the thing. And the shield goes down on Brainiac's ship, so Amanda Waller kind of jumps the gun and goes, fuck it, we're going to nuke Brainiac. So she sends a nuke, and as the nuke is flying, she's like, sorry, Task Force X, thank you for your service. We'll fucking wipe your slate clean after you're dead, and bada-bada-bada. And as the nuke is about to hit the ship, Superman grabs the nuke and throws it into fucking space, pretty much, right? And it's like, oh shit, Superman's here. So a fight breaks out between Superman and Wonder Woman, then you have to get... Something happens, we have to get Amanda Waller back to the base or whatever, so you're doing this, this courier mission, and Superman and Wonder Woman are fighting, and you're having to kill goons, but Superman and Wonder Woman are fighting while this is happening. And it's actually kind of cool, because you're seeing these gods go at it all over the screen, and it's kind of cool. You get Amanda Waller back to the Hall of Justice, because that's where the Argus setup is, and it's a cutscene. And basically, Wonder Woman and Superman are fighting to the death. And once Superman's beating the fuck out of Wonder Woman, breaks her shield, the kryptonite goes flying everywhere. And as he grabs her, Wonder Woman stabs a piece of kryptonite into Superman's heart. It breaks the symbol. And it's like in his chest. It's not like protruding out. It's like, no, the bitch is in his chest. In there. And there's a little bit of kryptonite poking out, but the shit is in there. He punches her to the ground and basically lasers her to death, like fries her, cooks her to death, and then flies away to Brainiac's ship. And the Suicide Squad circles around Wonder Woman in this heartfelt moment and all this stuff. And they're basically saying, like, you should have listened to us. We knew you were going to die. But she's like, I thought I could save my friends. I thought I could do this, blah, blah, blah. You guys have great achievements or whatever. And she dies. And they try to force this heartfelt moment. And a part of it is, but then like the other part of me is like, well, we just met these Justice Leaguers, this version of them. We just met them. There was no build up to them in the Arkham games. There's hints at like Superman. There's hints at, I think there's a hint at Green Lantern and a hint at the Flash. There's a voicemail from Lex Luthor. There's a hint at Oliver Queen and Blue Beetle. But you never meet these characters. So it's not like as heartfelt as it should be. And then in the other part of my brain is like, where is this emotional moment for the Flash? Where is this emotional moment for Green Lantern? So then it becomes, okay, Wonder Woman's dead. How do we beat Superman? The obvious answer is kryptonite, but he just got stabbed with kryptonite and flew away. So how do we beat him? So the other Lex Luthor manages to make gold kryptonite. Or he's making it. He's in the process. And he tells the Suicide Squad, you need to go get Batman. So, and I'm telling you, I am telling you. I can't believe I'm about to say this. The worst boss fight in the game. I'm getting tired saying this because of how draining it is. the most boring, lazy, stupid, beyond all measure boss fight in this game is Batman. I don't know how they fucked it up this bad. I don't know how they fucked it up. So earlier in the game, there's a part where you go to an exhibit called the Batman Experience, and it basically recaps all 3 Arkham games. And this is your first encounter with Batman, and he's like flying around and he's taking you guys out Predator style, and it's kind of neat. I'll be honest, it's kind of neat because you're helpless against the Batman, which is how it should be. So then, when you're trying to go get Batman, you're looking for these bat caves that he set up, or a bat cave that he set up in Metropolis, and you find it eventually. And you go in there, Batman is there, and he activates Scarecrow's fear toxin in efforts to beat you. And he beats, again, this might be a DEI thing, and a diversity thing, a fucking feminist thing, I don't know. But he beats King Shark, he beats Boomerang, he beats Deadshot. Doesn't beat Harley, though. And I swear to you, I swear that this is the explanation. Because of how crazy Harley Quinn is, she beats Batman's fear toxin that he got from Scarecrow. And it becomes this giant fight where you fight the, like, demon. I think they call it the Demon Bat. Because if you remember, if you played Arkham Knight, and if you beat the game, which hardly anybody did, like got the 100% because it's so fucking hard. I didn't do it. I just saw the clip on YouTube. If you beat the game 100%, there's this like demon bat that's in Gotham, and the cutscene ends with like a figure, and there's like fire around him, and then like the cape kicks out, and the world breaks, and it looks like fear toxin, and he gets criminals. But you're fighting this demon, so it's the fear toxin, right? So in Suicide Squad, in the fucking Batman boss fight, it's a giant demon bat. And he's shooting laser beams at you and throwing firewalls. And it's like a Mario game. It's a game of, you don't even have to disable Batman. Like, you don't have to do anything. I'm telling you, the way that I beat this boss fight as Deadshot, I had my sniper rifle, and I don't think I let up on the left trigger, on the aiming. I just aimed at Batman's demon head, and I shot at him multiple times as I jumped over laser beams. That's how you beat Batman. Oh, I have a comedy show to go to in an hour. Okay. That's how you... Oh, it's so infuriating. Like, there's no creativity with these... Like, there's spectacle, but that's the problem with this game, is there's no creativity. There is no respect given to these characters. It's just aim at the thing, shoot the thing, you win. It's an arcade game. It's a $70 arcade game. I'm getting more upset as I think about it. Okay, so you beat Batman. And you get him and you take him to the Hall of Justice and you got him locked up in a thing with Lex Luthor. And Lex Luthor shows you the gold kryptonite. And he's like, listen, this dampens Superman's abilities. You're going to be able to beat him. And then it becomes a question of, well, how do we get Superman to come to us? How do we get Superman? We're gonna take a break, and I'm gonna get myself a drink. Excuse me. And blows his head off. In an effort to drag out Superman. So Batman's death is a plot device to lead into another boring battle. Another boring boss fight. 3 games. 4 if you count Arkham Origins, which I do. I like Arkham Origins. Like, let's see when the first Arkham game came out, shall we? Arkham Asylum. 2009. So, you know, in reality, 15 years. 15 years that this version of Batman has been in existence. And the way his story ends is being brainwashed by Brainiac and shot in the head by Harley Quinn. I know everyone and their mother is bitching about this online, and it is as disrespectful. Like, all of the bitching, all of the moans, all of the gripes, it is so well deserved. It's unbelievable. Does that help? Does that help at all? I wonder if that lighting helps at all. I don't know if it does. Maybe. Yeah, it helps a little bit. Okay. It's disgusting. And then when Superman does show up after Batman dies, he makes fun of Batman. He goes, one of the world's greatest heroes, taken down by you guys. And then he just moves on. And now, look, I understand that these aren't really the heroes talking or the heroes acting because they're controlled by Brainiac. So effectively, that's Brainiac speaking through Superman about Batman. I get that. So it makes sense narratively. But for the narrative they were going for, like, briefly, and we can get into this a little bit later, but if I was writing this game, I would not have made, because Batman wouldn't have gotten captured by Brainiac. I really believe that. And because I know they did that as an ending in Injustice 2. I don't remember the specifics about it, but I remember liking that a lot more and thinking, oh, I actually kind of want them to go down the road where Superman is controlling Batman under Brainiac's tech, and because they did that a little bit better. And it's also Elseworlds, so, you know, not exactly ruining a 15-year canon. But I remember liking that a little bit better. But I would not have made Batman captured. Anyway, I digress. So that's how Batman dies. Then you immediately get into a fight with Superman. And it's the same shit. You disable Superman with the gold kryptonite, and you shoot him out of the sky multiple times, and then he dies. That's all it is. And the way he dies is you just shoot him, he falls, he lets out one big beam of energy from his eyes, and he dies. It's so unceremonious, and it's so nonchalant with it. Like, they just walk away from his corpse. They do nothing with it. They do nothing with the death of, again, Batman's my favorite, but Superman is the greatest superhero of all time. I think that's non-negotiable. He is the greatest. He is why all superheroes exist. And they do nothing. There's not even like one last moment where he temporarily breaks free of Brainiac's mind control and he like calls out to Lois. Because like throughout the game, you see Lois on these screens reporting about what's going on. And she's trying to speak to Superman and she's trying to talk to Diana and and it's kind of heartfelt here and there. You know, it's one of the good things in this game. Nothing with Superman's death. They just kill him. And he dies. Nothing else. How was this game made? How was it approved? Like, okay. All right. Okay. Okay. So we kill Superman. I'll skip over what happens after because it's not important. Then you have to get to Brainiac. And you get to the Brainiac fight. And Brainiac puts... How does he do it? He he basically says, it's like a throwaway line where he like absorbs the abilities of the Justice League because they've been under his control. So then he makes himself look like the Flash. So the Brainiac fight in the end is just fighting Flash again. And it's the same fucking thing. It's you disable the Flash, you shoot him, he dies. And the only difference is that rhythm is broken up by goons spawning in the map, so you have to take time away from killing the villain to hit the goons, and then you beat Brainiac and he dies. And then here, amongst everything that I've stated in this almost hour that I've been talking about this game, the fucking live service aspect of this game that this is built upon, because WB is greedy as fuck and they want money. The game doesn't have an end. It doesn't end. The ending of the game, quote unquote ending, it's a setup for the battle passes. Here's what happens. So basically, before you go to the Brainiac fight, you find out that we've known about the multiverse in the game, but there's actually an infinite multiverse. And in this infinite multiverse, there are 13 Brainiacs taking over. And Rick Flag actually says it in the game. Like, well, if you take out one Brainiac, you still got to take out the 12. So then, after you beat Brainiac and he dies, Amanda Waller tells the Suicide Squad, well, you're taking out one. There's still 12 to go. And then she sends you out of the Hall of Justice and the game ends. And it literally sets up that you have to go through now, because the post-game content is going to be you going through the Elseworlds. They already confirmed this. You're going through the multiverse. But they didn't say why. They just said new characters. Like the Joker, for some reason, who looks fucking bisexual. I'll put a picture up. Oh my God. Okay. You have to go through the multiverse to beat the other Brainiacs, and that's how the game ends. The game ends by setting up the fucking battle pass. I'm getting warm. I'm getting hot thinking about this. Talking about this. Like, this is what they want. This is what they went with. We're going to talk facts right now still, and then we'll get into hypotheticals. I might make a part 2 to this video. Okay. This is the easiest part of it, because let's talk about the good parts of the game, because there are so few. Character designs are cool. The world looks cool. Moving around Metropolis while there's a giant Brainiac ship, that's cool. There's moments of world building. Like, there's a part where you go to the Daily Planet and you see everybody's desks, and like Jimmy Olsen's desk is decked out with Superman stuff. Like, that's cool. You go to Clark's desk and it's got Ma and Pa Kent and him in a picture. That's cool. There's newspaper clippings about the Demon Bat. There's newspaper clippings about Lex Luthor for president. That's cool. In the very beginning of the game, before Argus takes over the Hall of Justice, you go in and there's like holograms of the Justice League that you can talk to. And obviously it's geared towards, like, in that world, in that world, it's geared towards kids. So it's like Superman, if you press on his hologram, he's talking, he's like, well, I'm not even from this world. Some really nice people raised me, and now I protect all of you. And we built the Hall of Justice, and Diane agreed that we should open ourselves up to the public so that me and my friends in the Justice League can meet all of you. And if you're here, that means that we're pals too. Like, the writing, like, there's writing in this game that's clearly done by a different group of people that actually fucking love DC. It's stuff like that. That's like, oh, like that's heartfelt. It's nice. They get the characters. And then there's everything else. Anyway, positives. If it wasn't so fucking repetitive, the gameplay can be fun. It can be. There were some tense moments here and there. The characters that pop up are cool, like Gizmo from the Teen Titans, an older version of Gizmo. He's one of the people that makes your stuff. But I don't even. I'll get into that later. Positives. The voice, even though the script is mediocre, the voice actors are great. Kevin Conroy kills it. Obviously, Tara Strong as Harley Quinn, she kills it, obviously. But that's really it. Like, oh, and then there's a very, I'll put a picture of it if I can up here. There's a heartfelt goodbye to Kevin Conroy's Batman at the end of the game, like a tribute to him. That's narrated by Lois Lane. But it feels disingenuous just because of what they did, or because of what they did to his character. That's really it for the good parts of this game. I kind of just want to end the video here. Like, don't buy the fucking video, or don't buy the game. What else do I want to say about this video game that I haven't already said? So the Penguin, Gizmo, Toyman, and Poison Ivy are in the game. They can help you upgrade your gear. I did it for like all of 5 minutes, but I was like, this is a stupid system. None of it works. And then it was never a thing again for me, and I still beat the game with ease. So they're they don't matter to the game all that much. I'm not going to play this game post-launch. I actually might try to get a refund through Steam. This game is not good. James Gunn said that they're going to make more Arkham games. Please don't. Because there's nowhere to go. You killed all your heroes. What are you going to do? Make another failed adaptation of Flashpoint? What are you going to do, James Gunn? Don't make any more Arkham games. This wasn't under James Gunn, like his planning and his regime, I don't think, because of when development started and all that, and when it got finished. But now he controls video games at DC too. Like, he has the final stamp on it, you know? James Gunn, do not make any more Arkham games. Make everything brand new and fresh. Don't make video game tie-in movies. I know he says he's going to, but video game tie-in movies hardly ever work out. Just make an original game. Like, if I was making this game in the Arkhamverse, I wouldn't even started with this. I would have made the Batman trilogy and then made a Justice League game. Because what's different with a video game than a movie, aside from the obvious, is you have infinite amount of time with these characters. Introduce the Justice League. Have mini campaigns in the video game with each. Have 3 to 5 hours with the Flash, Superman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, Aquaman, Cyborg. If you want to add more people, Blue Beetle, Booster Gold, fucking Captain Atom, Green Arrow. Build the Justice League that you want to build. Introduce them in that first game. Make all those mini campaigns culminate into a big villain. Make your second Justice League game where you're cemented with these characters. And then make Brainiac show up. And if you are so dead set on killing the fucking Justice League, do it right. Characters die in comic books all the time. It happens. But do it right. Do it at the end of the trilogy where you've spent time with these characters, where you earn their deaths. Don't do it at the beginning of in your first fucking game where the campaign is 10 hours. Don't do it, because where do you... You know what is a guaranteed way to make money off video games? Or a guaranteed way to make money off just media? Make a good product that people can believe in and they have believed in with your brand, and make quality shit. Not off battle passes. Not off fucking microtransactions. Like, because sure, you'll make short-term money. But long-term, like, where does Rocksteady go from here? Where does DC video get? DC, I'm going to make a whole other video about Warner Brothers and DC later. But where do they go from here? Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? I genuinely don't understand it. I don't know what's going on. I can't believe the incompetency, and I can't believe the stupidity. I really can't. I wish I could, but I can't. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League is the definition of a mind-numbing game if you're a casual gamer. If you are a DC fan, I can't see how this game makes you happy. I regret buying it. I regret spending 10 to 12 hours playing it. I can't believe this is how they decided to continue the Arkhamverse after like 8 years since Arkham Knight came out. I cannot believe it. But it's here. And it happened. Oh, and this game got delayed a year to improve its development. Oh, I think I should have said this at the beginning, but I played this game on PC. Don't play it on PC. You'll have frame rate drops. I think I hovered at like 35 to 40 frames when I should have been at least 70. As advertised, and then there were even pre-rendered cutscenes that dropped down to 20 frames a second, 11 frames a second, because I had the frame rate counter. And I've got a good PC. Like I run COD on, talking about another dumpster fire, I run COD on max settings and it looks great. I run Arkham Knight on max settings and it looks great. What's a recent game that I've played? Like Elden Ring, I ran that at max settings and it looks great. No issues. No issues on Call of Duty. Call of Duty is probably the biggest game that I play often. I just play zombies. And I run that at max settings, and it does fine. So it's the rendering of the actual game. It's the make of the actual game that fucked this up for me, not my hardware. And I ran this at max settings, too. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, 4 out of 10. Warner Brother kills Rocksteady, and Rocksteady kills the Arkham series. Like, this is abysmal. Fucking abysmal. Well, I'm going to go get ready to see a comedy show at the new comedy club here in town. Shout out to Quesada's Comedy Club in Cantina. Shout out Ali Makovsky. This will come out after I see the show, so hopefully it's a good show. But if you made it this far in this video, appreciate you watching. Shout out to fucking Kevin Conroy. Rest in peace. I can't believe this is one of the, apparently he's going to be in a couple more things posthumously, but I can't believe this is his last outing as the Arkham Batman and one of his last outings as the Batman. Ben Affleck's my favorite live action, but Kevin Conroy will always be my Batman. He is the Batman that I hear in my head when I read comic books. He is the Batman that I rewatch the most, whether it's the animated series or the movies he's done. He deserved better. I mean, these characters deserved better, but it just stings more because he passed away, and obviously Rocksteady or WB couldn't control that, but I mean, shit, dude, like, this is how the chips fell. And even if he was still alive, the conversation would be, I hope he does a better thing in the future because this sucked. So, God, DC is just in shambles right now. It's hard to be a DC fan, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for listening and watching. As always, love you guys. If you want to see me do more solo episodes of the podcast, let me know. Maybe I'll do them, maybe I won't, because I don't like doing just general podcast episodes, but I do like ranting about this shit. So we will see you guys next time. Don't buy this fucking game.